Old School just tweeted this morning, we're back to clarify some details surrounding the two-handed axe. Not only are we taking you through the mechanics, but we've made some major changes to how you create rations. Read the news post and fill out the survey. Okay. So there has been a resounding disappointment both on Reddit and Twitter about these two-handed axes. They need a rework. There's been some great suggestions so far, and I will have my own suggestion toward the end of what I would like to see the two-handed axes be like. But yeah, currently right now, it's just a bit convoluted. People don't want run energy, having to do anything with them, and the rations are just strange. So we're going to go into the news post in a second, but I wanted to just kind of scroll through these replies because they're not looking too good. So yeah, the two-handed axes there's a disappointment wave throughout the entire community, and Forestry Part 2 in general has been kind of seen as lackluster, and people don't really want it. Now, there's obviously a smaller percentage on Reddit that don't want it. I feel like the majority still is they want Forestry Part 2. On Twitter, it seems like nobody really wants Forestry Part 2. Now, I'll just reiterate my position on forestry as a whole very briefly. So, forestry, I thought it could have been a really great update. Now, this is again my subjective opinion. I don't think events were necessary by any means to make forestry a successful update. I think what really needed to happen was go in, rework the trees, which they did, make it so when you're chopping with your friends, you're not, getting punished, which they did. Those are the two greatest things they did. And then on top of that, just go in and look. This is the thing they didn't do, which I think would have just solidified forestry, and there would have been no need to have events, is just look at each individual tree and rebalance the rates. I mean, it's just laughable that at level 99, you're chopping magics at like 25k XP an hour. That's just ridiculous. They could seriously just go in there and look at pumping those numbers up. So that is my personal opinion. I think wood cutting is a very iconic old school skill, and the more convoluted it becomes, the more confusing the system becomes. It just ruins that charm of what woodcutting is, which is chop log. Like, that's all it really should be. Again, my opinion. Now, if people really love events, like that kind of eventscape where random things pop out, I would have been fine if, for example, like the woodcutting guild had a rework, and those are things that spawn an event. And maybe instead of just like randomly making mud pies and whatever the fuck every like 5 minutes, what if it was just like an evil tree that spawns, and then you go and chop the evil tree, and you gotta, like, I don't know, like dodge a root that spawns up from the ground or something, but just something very simple where it does feel like something just random happened. And maybe that evil tree could even drop a dragon axe for you at a very rare rate, like something that's kind of rewarding, but it wouldn't be like super XP focused. Anyway, just my personal thoughts. At this point, I know for a fact there's no scrapping forestry. Like, there's just like no updates ever get scrapped. Even if, and I know the majority probably don't even want forestry to be scrapped because they just want more XP. And if you take away forestry, Jagex wouldn't do anything about rebalancing trees. So it would just be a net negative for most players, which I understand. But yeah, so I know I said I'd be brief on that, but I didn't. So let's go into the blog post real quick and just see what they are offering with the two-handed axes now. So we're here to discuss the future of the two-handed axe, ready for Forestry Part 2. We've seen the recent discussions surrounding Forestry Part 2, and more specifically, the two-handed axe and its mechanics. Well, we're back to you today to carry on the conversation to make sure we get this reward right before its launch. Before we jump into some slight tweaks, let's talk about how two-handed axes work. If you'd rather see a visual, then check out this week's live stream where we showed off the two-handed axes in action. So apparently now it actually is held on the shoulder. So I think this visual is a mistake. I think it is held on the shoulder as seen. Mechanics. Let's start with creation. Once you've acquired 6,000 anima-infused bark, you'll be able to purchase a felling axe handle. This reward will let you craft a two-handed axe by combining it with any of the following axes, bronze through 3rd age. While this process is irreversible, both the felling axe handle and all of the two-handed axes are tradable via the Grand Exchange. Once you've got your axe and the required level to use it, the same as the current axe tiers, you can get to chopping. The two-handed axe will chop at the same speed as your regular one, but the benefit of this mighty axe will allow you to gain more experience whilst gathering fewer logs. This benefit uses your run energy at the cost of 40 points per successful chop whenever you receive a log, and you'll receive 20% more experience for each successful hit of the tree, with a 20% chance not to gain a log. To keep this up, you'll need the Forester's Rations. These treats will guarantee you restore 20 points of energy per swing when using a two-handed axe, which means if you got a bunch of rations in your forestry kit, here's what you'll get. Okay. So it looks like with the rations consumed, you are just, saving 20 energy. Okay, cool. Pretty simple. You will continue to chop between 4 and 5 until your inventory is full. You have no more rations, or you stop chopping to restore your run energy. This means if you have enough rations, you'll be able to gain the full benefits of the two-handed axe. Rations are automatically consumed when chopping and stored in your forestry kit, so you don't need to worry about gobbling them up yourself. Also, you're still able to chop with the two-handed axe even if you don't have the right amount of run energy. You just won't gain the benefits. While various other energy restore effects will work, we want to highlight that the reduced energy drain effect from stamina potions will not. Oh my, are you kidding me? This will mean for most areas in the game, you'll have enough energy to bank and return. Wait. The reduced energy drain effect. Oh, I see what you mean. I thought they were like just randomly nerfing staminas. Okay, so I'm pretty sure like you're still getting drained even if you're under the stamina's effect, but it's not actually doing anything to regenning quickly. I don't know. I believe that's not actually what I was thinking initially, so that's fine. You'll have enough energy to bank and return. Now, we talked about some changes, so let's go take a look at rations. Rations. One of the biggest pieces of feedback surrounding the axe was how rations were not worth gathering because of the crafting process being too tedious and time-consuming, especially given how much time you'd get for your time creating these tasty treats. We want to make sure you have a much better time making these rations. So our first change means you'll now be able to use any type of cooked fish in order to create rations alongside the normal cooked meat method. Oh my God. Okay. Secondly, we've changed the scaling of rations created dependent on the cooked fish and leaf type, hopefully giving some more uses out of the leaves collected from trees. Combining a fish piece of cooked meat with a leaf will give you a different amount of rations based on its tier. Let's take a look. Normal leaves, 2 rations. Oak, 4. Willow, 6. And then magic is 12. Let's just base the level off of each leaf. But sorry, I am misreading this. That's just the base level of each leaf. But depending on what tier of fish you use with the leaves will also give you an extra benefit. So level 1, 33 fish, 1 ration. I'm just like, oh my God, please scrap this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if somebody's like actually like super excited about this and I'm just kind of like shitting on it underneath my breath. But like, come on, this is ridiculous, guys. 99 fish, or level 70 through 99 fishing is 3 rations. Okay. This means if you're creating rations from oak leaves and a cooked herring, you'd create 4 rations with each interaction. But if you're creating rations from magic leaves and a cooked shark, you'd create a whopping 36 rations each time. Okay, I see what they're trying to say. At the very highest tier per inventory, you'd make 972 rations, which would be more than enough for a couple hours of tree chopping. Hopefully these changes will make the two-handed axes less daunting to use, as we understand this is something new we're trying out. We believe it was important to have a trade-off considering the axe gives you more experience and will bring in fewer logs into the game, which is a massive benefit for players in terms of the time you'll spend chopping. Okay. Your feedback, I actually already did the survey on my mobile device, and yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about the whole thing. So I'm gonna share my personal take on what I want two-handed axes to be. So if you guys understand what the Soul Reaper axe does, I just pulled this up just to kind of give a visual and to just remind you guys what it's like. So there's a entirely new special attack orb when you're equipping the Soul Reaper axe. That has nothing to do with your normal special attack or your run energy or anything. So I was thinking, what if a two-handed axe was an 8-tick chopping axe? So it's twice as slow, but every swing is double accuracy, and there is a chance of getting 2 logs. So whenever you swing, it's exactly double the rate. So that has no effect. So it would be the exact same, like a dragon two-handed axe would be the exact same as a dragon axe, but it's just chopping slower. But there is now an orb that's attached to it where every time you swing, that orb boosts up by 1 up to 5. Very similar to the Soul Reaper axe, where you attack with the Soul Reaper axe 5 times, it gets a nice 5 charge, and then you can unleash it. So I was thinking, what if you get a two-handed axe, and if you swing with it 5 different times, you can unleash the special, and then it has another double accuracy chop that can also chop up to double the logs you would normally get, which is already 2. So you'd be able to chop up to 4 logs potentially on that massive swing. So I just thought this would be a little fun addition because, one, it would encourage people to actually be active at their computer. So you're actually having to click on the special attack every 40 ticks to unleash the thing. You don't have to. It would still be the same speed as the Dragon Axe, but that would encourage players to unleash. And what is more fun than clicking an unleash attack that actually has a significant chance of just getting a bunch of logs and XP gain? Like, I just thought that would be so much better. And then I was thinking, instead of having it cost like anima and stuff, which I know the anima and the leaves and the rations and the cooked fish, it's all kind of strange. I was just thinking, what if a two-handed axe was charged with the other axes? So when you have a two-handed axe, it would be similar to like the infernal axe, where it does deplete over time, and then it would just turn back into a normal axe. And if you want to keep the two-handed axe, which is just a direct buff as long as you're active, then you would have to charge it with more axes. So the dragon axe, for example, you would have to charge with normal dragon axes. So now there would obviously be something that we'd have to do with the crystal variant and the third age variant, which personally, I just think, maybe it just doesn't have a charging system. Maybe it just becomes that if you have a crystal seed or you have the third age axe, you wouldn't need to keep charging it. But with the dragon version, you would have to continually charge them up with other dragon axes. And then I was thinking, a lot of people don't want to just upkeep DKs forever. So what if there was rare chances of receiving dragon axes, or maybe, exchanging stuff, your anima or whatever, for dragon axes? Like, just something where like dragon axes aren't seen as just very, I don't know, elusive to some account types. Like, I don't know. I just think, why not be able to get the dragon axe from woodcutting itself somehow? Maybe as a rare drop or something. Anyway, so that's just my personal thoughts. Just make it so the two-handed axe is twice as slow as the normal axe. But you get a double accuracy roll every swing, and you have the chance of chopping 2 logs on that swing. So it's exactly double. And then you charge it up with 5 different swings, and then you can unleash and have a massive swing that has a chance of obtaining 4 logs potentially with the respective XP drop alongside of it. So it is an upgrade, but that is the purpose. There's no run energy. There's no rations to be used. There's none of that. It's just simply a little bit of an upgrade, and it's fun to unleash your critical chop. I think that would just be really fun. So let me know what you guys think. Again, those would have to be maintained with axes, so then there are dragon axes being erased from the game. I just think that would be a great addition. So let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical. I mean, I'm not even a little bit. I'm very skeptical of Forestry Part 2 coming out. It just seems like it's going to be even more convoluted. And you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I know I just kind of like rambled. Hopefully I made a little bit of sense. I probably could have shortened what I was saying by like half. So thank you for listening. As always, like the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.